Subscribe and bicycle kick that like button. The win against the struggling Leicester side marked 3 in a row for United. A positive upturn in form for sure, and continuing to build on the win against Liverpool. A post-mortem of the transfer window followed, as a slew of articles were written about the goings-on at United. New signing Antony was settling in quickly with the United squad, especially among the Brazilians with fellow newcomer Casemiro, and Lisandro Martinez was presented with the Player of the Month trophy. Come Matchday, United vs Arsenal was the last of a thrilling set of fixtures for Matchday 6. This is how the table shaped up as game time approached. Undefeated Arsenal were in first on 15 points. United were in 8th with 9, but if they were to win, they'd finish the matchday just 3 points behind Arsenal. A classic 6-pointer. These were the starting 11s for both teams. Two things immediately jumped out for United fans. First was the inclusion of new boy Antony on the right wing, in the place of his namesake Anthony Elanga. Thrown straight into the fire in one of the most important matches of the young season, this showed just how much Ten Hag trusted the Brazilian. The second interesting selection was in midfield, where McTominay retained his place ahead of Casemiro. Many fans had believed that Casemiro's cameos since his arrival were in preparation for a start in this match, and were left somewhat disappointed. However, McTominay had been playing some of the best football of his United career over the last few matches, and had merit for the starting berth. Of course, he didn't have nearly the amount of accolades and experience as Casemiro, but based on his current form alone, he was worthy of the fans' support. Arsenal's lineup looked just about as was expected. The performances of new arrivals Jesus and Zinchenko had been all the buzz this season, as well as the leadership of their new captain Odegaard. Martinelli and Saka were always threats with their pace down the wings, and Saliba had slotted in seamlessly to their back line. The only caution for them was in midfield, where first choice Partey would miss the game due to injury. But more or less, it was still a very strong Arsenal squad. Would Ten Hag's decisions pay off? Let the game commence. The match kicked off with the Ajax connection. Martinez sprays a ball out to the right wing. Antony tries to chest it to Rashford, but his pecs are too firm and Lokonga boots it out for a throw. United started the game off brightly. Eriksen receives the ball on the left wing and begins charging forward, managing to get all the way to the edge of Arsenal's box. He passes to Malacia as Saliba pressures him. Malacia cleverly skips past Saka and delivers into the box, which Lokonga clears. Dalot is alert and recovers the ball to McTominay. They play a nice 1-2, and Dalot is off and running again. He does a La Croqueta to bamboozle Ben White, and plays in a low cross. But Arsenal defenders are able to swarm Bruno and clear. Dalot is playing with so much confidence, and really making the right back position his own. Arsenal's press stood off a little in the first 10 minutes, which allowed United to play out from the back. Martinez passes to McTominay in space, who turns confidently away from the on-rushing Jesus, before playing a positive ball forward to Rashford. They play a nice interchange to move Arsenal's defence, before Rashford finds Antony on the wing. He surveys his options as Dalot makes the underlap. He attempts a cross, but cannot beat the first man. McTominay recovers the ball and gives it back to Antony, who finds Sancho running to the half space. The triangle is obvious as the ball reaches Antony again via Dalot. He tries to attack the space, but Jesus, the Arsenal striker, is there doing the defensive work. As he brings the ball out, McTominay sizes him up, and puts in a perfect challenge to halt him in his tracks. Jesus goes sprawling onto the turf holding his head, and referee Paul Tierney stops the play claiming a head injury. It was just a light bump, innit? Get up, mate. This ain't a picnic. From the drop ball, United would come straight back again. Varane plays around Arsenal's press to Dalot, who plays a nice ball first time to a darting Antony. He waits for options in the box, but is soon double-teamed. When all seems lost, he plays an unexpected back heel to Dalot, which splits the two Arsenal players. Dalot is free to swing in a sublime cross to the back post, which Eriksen meets on the volley, but the shot goes just wide. It was all United at this point. Arsenal's first chance would come against the run of play. Odegaard takes a quick free kick to Martinelli as United players are still getting organised. Antony is alert and wins the header, but it falls straight to Xhaka. He plays into a frantic penalty area. The ball finds its way into an unmarked Saliba who lashes at it and sends it skying over. A chance out of nowhere. United were really enjoying themselves in the first 12 minutes with incisive forward passing, which would result in another shot on goal, which Ramsdale saves. As the ball gets recycled, Martinez finds Malacia on the left flank, who gives it to Eriksen as Odegaard comes to press from behind. Odegaard seems to barge Eriksen over from behind, but the referee inexplicably says play on. Saka recovers the ball and plays a perfect through ball to Martinelli. Dalot cannot catch Martinelli's sheer pace as he shoots from the edge of the box and finishes brilliantly into the bottom right corner. Arsenal 1, United 0, in the blink of the eye. Or was it? The replay of Odegaard's challenge on Eriksen clearly shows two hands on his back, as well as a knee up the backside. A challenge very similar to this one, and this was called a foul. So what gives? The purple screen of death would rightly get involved and usher Paul Tierney to the pitch side monitor. After an unreasonably long deliberation, he'd come to the obviously correct decision. You can call this soft, but a foul is a foul. Although still 0-0, that moment would mark a significant shift in momentum as Arsenal finally started imposing themselves on the match. Gabriel plays a piercing ball towards Martinelli. He does really well to hold off Dalot as he drives infield, before hitting it out towards Saka. Malacia anticipates a cutback, but Saka heads straight for the byline. He gets all the way to the 6-yard box before driving in a low cross, which Varane intercepts. United, trying to stop Arsenal's flow, continue to press hard. Zinchenko attempts to disguise ball upfield, but McTominay reads it beautifully and intercepts. He knocks it past Martinelli before finding Sancho. Sancho gives it back to him, who then threads it forward to Rashford. Rashford swings it out to Antony, who is one-on-one with the defender. He cuts in and fires, but the ball sails over the bar. Arsenal sustained a real period of pressure around United's box. Odegaard slips it through to Saka, who tries to give it back to him, but the press is cut out by Eriksen, who pokes it to Bruno. Bruno tries to flick to Rashford, but he's being held off by Lokonga. Saliba picks the ball up and finds Odegaard in plenty of room. Odegaard cuts infield before passing to Jesus. Jesus maneuvers towards the right and finds White, who moves it out to Saka. He gives it back to Odegaard, who plays a nice ball towards the back post. Martinelli leaps high for the header, and De Gea is forced to make a great save. Credit where it's due, they were looking threatening Arsenal. United continued to defend resiliently as a team, and their efforts would be rewarded in a big way. De Gea gets the ball moving from the back. Martinez moves it out to Malacia, who passes to Eriksen. Eriksen shows off his vision as he plays a line-breaking ball to Bruno, taking out 6 Arsenal players at once. Bruno turns and charges towards the Arsenal box as the attacking players sprint to give him options. Gabriel lunges in desperation, but gets nowhere near the ball as Bruno pokes it through to Sancho. Sancho finds Rashford as Saliba dropping one step too deep gives him room to receive. Rashford draws 2 before threading a perfectly weighted ball to the new boy. Antony doesn't need a second invitation as he shoots and slots it in confidently in the bottom left corner. Welcome to United, you little magician. Ronnie's pleased, and the Ajax duo share a bromance moment. Ramsdale dives to his left as if anticipating a right-footed shot, and it's past him before he can read the scouting report. United 1, Arsenal 0. There was no arguing with VAR on this one. Half-time stats would read like this. United dominated possession in the first 12 or so minutes, but Arsenal well and truly grew into the match and seemed to have more control as the half closed. Passes, passing accuracy, and fouls committed were as even as can be, indicating a competitive 45 minutes of football, but the most important stat was in United's favour, 1-0. Arsenal will start the second half as they ended the first, and they'd be presented with a great chance. From a throw-in, Jesus is able to outstrength/shove Martinez out of the way. He storms into the box and plays a perfect cutback right into Odegaard's path. He meets it on his strong left foot, in a similar position to Antony for his goal, but he doesn't have that killer instinct and the ball skews harmlessly wide. Martinelli doesn't give up though and swings in a cross. Saka's first touch is brilliant as he feints cutting inside, which bamboozles Malacia before taking it outside. He fires a powerful shot on his weaker foot, which drifts outside of the post. Seeing his shot go wide, Saka would try to claim a penalty on Malacia's follow-through. No way, that's a pen, son. Throughout the match, Ramsdale was irritatingly excellent at chipping balls into his fullbacks. White heads it forward. Odegaard shields the ball and lays it back to White, who drives infield before playing to Saka, who had done the same. He plays a nice give and go with Jesus before finding Martinelli on the wing. He holds the ball up waiting for Saka's overlap before playing him in. Saka chips it in towards the back post with Jesus waiting, but the ball bounces off the bar and behind for a goal kick. Ten Hag would then make his first substitution of the afternoon, bringing on Ronaldo for goalscorer Antony. Soon afterwards, the relentless pressure from Arsenal will finally see the ball end up in the back of the net. Varane tries to bring the ball out, but the pass to Eriksen is cut out by an Arsenal swarm. Xhaka finds Odegaard as McTominay tries to cover the large space left by Varane. He attempts to close the space on Odegaard as the race is on between Jesus and Dalot in the box. Odegaard does a brilliant La Croqueta before threading the ball into the gap. Dalot valiantly wins his battle against Jesus and gets a toe in before Jesus can swing his foot through the ball. Martinez is drawn towards the ball during the action, while Malacia had given up on the play. This leaves Saka free to fire the loose ball, and it goes through Martinez's legs to get Arsenal back level. In all fairness, it was a deserved goal, both for Arsenal and for Saka himself, who had been causing Malacia all sorts of trouble on the day. Here it seems that McTominay is just about covering the passing angle, but the clever touch from left to right creates the daylight needed for the pass, and the rest was history. United won, Arsenal won. It was all Arsenal at this point, playing the ball around with confidence, but in the 65th minute, United would once again smack them in the mouth. Lokonga finds Zinchenko moving into midfield, who backheels it back to him. Ronaldo does his utmost to pressure Lokonga across the pitch, which induces an errant pass recovered by Dalot. He finds Eriksen moving into space, who, as aware as ever, finds Bruno with the first time ball. Bruno takes one touch and plays a magnificent through ball for Rashford with the outside of his boot. Saliba gets completely turned around as he helplessly watches the ball go past him. Rashford takes the touch as White comes in from his left and Ramsdale closes the angle. He strikes, which takes a small deflection off the underside of White's leg, and ends up in the back of the net. Oh hell yeah, Marcus. Perfect pass, perfect run, perfect finish. United 2, Arsenal 1. Shortly after the goal, Ten Hag brought on Fred for Sancho to shore up the midfield. As the game ensued, United's pressing was as intense as ever. Ronaldo closes down Ramsdale as he's forced to make a rushed pass. Fred is all over the situation and intercepts the ball to Bruno. He tries to dink over the keeper, but Ramsdale stands tall and is able to make the save. They were falling apart a little bit here, Arsenal. They'd continued to push to try to get back into the game. Martinelli turns and runs at United's defence. He finds Jesus making the run in behind Varane. He is able to turn away from the recovering defender before firing a shot towards the top right corner, a whisker away. Arteta, perhaps getting a little antsy, decides to make a triple attacking substitution, and just 2 minutes later, it would cost them dearly. Ronaldo receives a ball from a throw-in. He tries to play in a streaking Eriksen, but Vieira manages to get a foot in. Ronaldo still manages to poke the ball to Bruno before Gabriel comes to wipe him out. Bruno plays a lovely ball to Eriksen, who had continued the third man run, as Saliba unsuccessfully tries to play the offside trap. As Eriksen arrives, it's 2 against none, with White desperate to try to get back in the play. Eriksen unselfishly plays a perfectly weighted ball to Rashford, who just gets there in front of a lunging White, to lift it home. No question whatsoever of offside. And for the second time today, Rashford sends Ben White straight back to Brighton. United 3, Arsenal 1. Get in, you bloody beauty. With Rashford and Martinez suffering a few knocks, Ten Hag would bring on Maguire and Casemiro to protect the lead. Captain Maguire was back, but not really better than ever. Eriksen plays a ball to Casemiro. He tries to knock the ball past the pressing Vieira, but he anticipates it and is able to nip in. Jesus picks it up and starts running at Maguire, who has to bring him down, for an immediate yellow. To be fair, it was Casemiro's mistake which put him in that position. Arsenal tried their best to trim the lead as Gabriel pings it into Jesus out of view. He plays a dink pass to Vieira. The ball is at the perfect height for the volley, but it skies high and wide. Arsenal came forward again as Vieira plays a killer ball towards the back post. It's a race between Martinelli and McTominay, and United's informed man is there to boot it away from Martinelli's toes. Ronaldo tries to shoulder a ball out to Fred, but hits it too firmly. Jesus picks it up with a clever turn. Casemiro gets a foot in, but it falls right to Smith Rowe. He strikes, but the ball goes over the bar once more. From the goal kick, Ronaldo flicks on a header. This plays in Fred, who gets into the box before flashing a ball across, just out of reach of Bruno. Bruno recovers it and tries to play in Ronaldo, but his pass is cut out by Gabriel, leaving Ronaldo to kick an innocent water bottle in frustration. The match would end with Vieira taking a pot shot at goal, which is comfortably gathered by De Gea. A hard-fought victory for United. Full-time stats would read like this. Arsenal ended the game ahead on possession and shots attempted, but United finished with more shots on target, and of course, with 3 goals to Arsenal's 1. An exhilarating win against an in-form, top-of-the-table Arsenal squad. Arsenal came into the match winning 5 in a row, and United ended that streak to go on a 4-in-a-row streak of their own. Rashford put in one of his best performances in recent memory, as he scored 2 and came away with an assist, demonstrating his clinical finishing, composure, and game awareness. Ten Hag clearly trusted him, and now it was about consistency and continual improvement. Antony settled in very quickly as the new number 21 marked his debut with a goal. United fans had seen just a few glimpses of his promise, but there was genuine excitement in the air. Bruno was involved in all 3 goals, with the spectacular pass to Rashford being the pick of the bunch. The added responsibility of the captaincy seemed to be bringing out the best of him. Eriksen's technique, vision, and insistence on playing balls forward was exactly what United had been lacking in recent seasons, as he continued to be the linchpin of United's midfield. McTominay stood out yet again for all the right reasons, as he continued his scintillating form. He was thriving in his clearly defined role under Ten Hag, performing his duties to a T and bringing in tremendous value to the team. Dalot continued to be United's glue guy, as he continued to bring positive play and unselfishness down the right flank. Varane and Martinez took yet another huge step forward together as United's first choice defensive pairing. Their leadership, passion and organisation had seen United concede only 2 goals during this 4-game winning run. Malacia had a tough afternoon against a very direct Saka, but refused to give up and gave everything for the cause until the final whistle. These were the standings at the conclusion of Matchday 6. United were firmly in 5th, despite 2 disastrous results to open the season. The top 7 included England's traditional Big 6, joined by Brighton in 4th place, who continued to show the league that their Matchday 1 win against United wasn't a fluke. The next match would be the first of United's season in the Europa League, as they kicked off their group stage against Real Sociedad. How many changes would Ten Hag make to a well-performing first 11? Would Ronaldo and Casemiro finally get their first starts of the season? Would Maguire come back into the team to afford Varane or Martinez a rest? Join me here for Chapter 7 of United's season. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments on the Arsenal game down below.